So you can look at celebrity stuff as a distraction. And I think that last segment with the text messages, that was pure distraction. I thought it was kind of funny. But this one was the Kim talking about work. So let me play a clip here to show you what, if you're not familiar with why this was trending, why this was a hot topic, or why even I would want to talk about it. Let me play a little clip of what's happening here.
Kardashian. Now, she had social media in a frenzy after she offered women advice. She said, I have the best advice for women in business. Get your effing ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. Well, people was mad at that. Actress Jamila Jamil replied and said, I think if you grew up in Beverly Hills with super successful parents and what was simply a smaller mansion, nobody needs to hear your thoughts on success, work ethic. This the same 24 hours in the day shit is a nightmare. 99.9% of the world.
Okay, so let's hear what Kim said, a clip of what exactly she said there, what they described.
Your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do because you have one life. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work.
So that got people triggered, and a lot of it I think was they weren't happy with the messenger. But I hate to break it to you, if you're not happy with the messenger, the message is still solid. It's not complicated. Like what she said is not rocket science. And just because it comes from Kim Kardashian doesn't mean it's wrong.
Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems.
Get up and work. Okay. Where's the lie? I'm looking around and I don't see a lie. I'm trying to find one. We have to think through these things critically. You can't look at the messenger and say, whoa, like I don't like a lot of the New York Times. Sometimes they have a good article. Like that doesn't mean that the message that they've got is always wrong. I listened to David Pakman, Sam Cedar, David Doyle. It's Doyle, right? Or forgot. But, the Rational National guy. I've listened to all these guys, and we don't see eye to eye. Those three, we don't see eye to eye. Destiny. Sometimes they're based in fact. Sometimes they're based in truth. Sometimes, even if I don't agree, they help me formulate my thoughts. Where's the lie?
Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do because you have one life. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work.
Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And I think one of my strengths is it's also a weakness, which is very common. I'm almost like Data from Star Trek The Next Generation. And you could say Spock too, but I look at Data. He's an android. And the android's going to listen to your information and analyze it to see if it makes sense or not. It doesn't really care as much who the messenger is. If 2 + 2 is 4, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who told me that. Yes, it's right. So you can disagree with that all you want, but I honestly don't. I honestly don't get it. Let me give you an example. I kind of went back and forth with Tia on Twitter. And Tia said, so instead of recognizing why people don't want to work right now, which there are real reasons they don't, including people being effing lazy, and actually include that minimum wage, is it effing enough to live? What does that have to do with what Kim Kardashian just said? What do you mean recognizing why people don't want to work? The real reason, including being lazy? Well, some people are. If it doesn't fit, that statement that Kim Kardashian said, it's if it doesn't fit you, you're not going to be triggered by it. It's not a problem. People who are working hard probably don't even have time to. They're probably like, I don't have even time to listen to what she had to say. You bring up minimum wage. What does that have to do with hard work? You have to. even work harder. Now, I think what happened is it's just a clip. So it's almost like a tweet. So it's not expanded upon. Hard work is all relative. And where did she get that value from? There's a video that I've seen. I actually seen it a couple of years ago, and it was her mom. Her mom is brilliant. Chris, let's play a clip here.
Lessons for all of us. And I know her to be also somebody that we don't always see on TV. So I wanted to.
Well, now what are we going to do with 10 kids, or 8 kids at the time? And it was very interesting because we weren't thinking. We just kind of dove into a situation. And I had my first baby at 22 and 4 kids later.
Okay, I wanted to bring it back. Let's bring it back to right here.
And divorced and single for 5 minutes. Met and married Bruce Jenner. And I guess I kind of pulled a Chloe because I met him and 5 months later we were married. And it was very interesting because he had probably $200 in the bank. And I didn't have much more than that. And I had some child support. And we thought, okay, well, now what are we going to do with 10 kids, or 8 kids at the time? And it was very interesting because we weren't thinking. We just kind of dove into a situation. And suddenly we were left with a situation that looked really great on the outside, but we were in trouble on the inside. And there's a lot of people that do live paycheck to paycheck, although our paychecks were a little bit larger than other people's.
So that's where people, they look at it and like, oh, your paychecks are larger, so you can't tell me about hard work. That they're not guaranteed to keep getting those paychecks. And if you look at it, you can look at the fundamental issue. If they were living at their means with 8 kids, or they had a larger family, it doesn't matter if you're living at your means at $2 million or 20,000. You're living at your means. And what you're going to hear her talk about here is she had to think about, what am I going to do? Yeah, of course they could have cut back to a different lifestyle, but she wanted to keep her current lifestyle. Everybody could cut back to a different lifestyle until you're living on the streets. So she was like, what are we going to do? We got to break this down and think it through. That fundamentally, that applies to anyone. Like, people think that, oh, well, she was with Rob Kardashian. That's her father. And wow, she was with Rob Kardashian. So it was guaranteed that she would be the most influential influencer in the world. No, it's not. There's no given there. Let's hear her talk about how she thought through this.
But it was still a struggle. And I, thought, how are we going to make a life together? How is he going to make a living? What are we going to do? What am I going to do? And I didn't have a lot of hands-on work experience, although I had been in the business world, just because I was married to an executive the first part of my life. And I learned so much just paying attention and being around, which I think was like my college.
That was a powerful statement. She's talking about, I was married to this exec and I paid attention to him and learned from him. That was like my college. That kind of, it's, you make the best of what you have. And she took that from a former husband. I don't think she was talking about Rob there. I don't know how many times she's been married, but maybe it was Rob, the OJ lawyer. But regardless of that, she learned from him and then applied those skills. The skills that you might need. Casual Goats has it right here. People should look for better jobs. McDonald's exists, but so does plumbing. Plumbing might not work for somebody else. Well, maybe you could, I don't know, do a hustle on Etsy or something and then flip it into something else. Like there's the whole idea of defining what success is. Let me continue here with Chris for a second.
At the end of the day, because I paid attention and I didn't know I was paying attention. Anyway, Bruce and I tried to figure it out, and it was a struggle. And then one day I just had to roll up my sleeves and thought, this isn't working. What are we going to do? And that's when I became Bruce's manager. And we just started deciding that I was going to, this was before there was really a lot of email, and it was like snail mail. Anytime you wanted to get a message out to somebody, you mailed it. If you wanted to reach a lot of people, corporate executives, anybody like that. And Bruce Jenner had a speech that he gave called Finding the Champion Within. And we sat down and I said, you need to go and do these motivational speeches like you used to do around the country, around the world, and we are going to tell everybody about it. And I didn't know how I was going to do that, so I grabbed my buddy, who then became my assistant. She was amazing. And we spread all over the living room floor that had no furniture in it, just every single piece of material we could find. And we made press kits out of nothing. I had a Xerox machine that was like, on just auto drive. And we mailed 7,000 things to everybody we could think of. Visa, Coca-Cola, every single company, Carl's Jr., Jack in the Box. We just started mailing these things to corporate executives.
And waiting for them to hire
And we waited
Bruce.
for the phone to ring. And the phone started to ring. And then we couldn't keep up with the call. I'm like, this is amazing. This is really.
So that's a little bit about that there. I think there was a clip at 9 where she mimics, and you wonder, where did Kim get that passion from? And I think it's right around here.
And then the hard work didn't scare me, because every time
She's talking about hard work.
Out a way to have an income for my family, and then the hard work didn't scare me, because every time I would go to bed at night and put my head on the pillow, I was like, I had such a great day. This felt so good, and I worked so hard.
But what gave you the confidence or the chutzpah to, after, you have somebody who won an Olympic gold medal, who's in the house, so I get that. But then you're like sitting there and you're looking at your children and you're thinking, I can make a TV show out of this, when that really hadn't been done. What made you think that anybody would be interested in your kids, your family, and that you could actually be the executive producer and sell that?
Well, I think what happened was, and a lot of people don't know exactly how that panned out, but I think what happened was, after we were, established, and Bruce was doing well, and speaking's going well, and I still felt like there was a lot left to do, and that we could create something else. And my kids were getting older. So Courtney, Kimberly, and Chloe were in their early 20s, late teens, amongst them. And Kendall and Kylie were just very little. And I had been down in San Diego working with my mom, because she has a children's store. And my stepdad had an accident.
So that's the taste of it I wanted to give when you hear Kim talking about who you surround yourself with, working hard. Trevor Noah did a take on this, and his take was Kim Kardashian can't. It was I'll paraphrase kind of. This is what I took from it. Kim Kardashian can't say anything about hard work because her reality show was basically her not working. It was such a cringe take. Trevor Noah is such a smart dude. To see him so cringe, it made me think, why would Trevor Noah, a hard worker himself, just from what I've seen, read, why would he try to do mental gymnastics to diss the message that he knows he agrees with? Why would he do that? It again comes down to this. This is a defeatist attitude, where you say, well, you weren't born with the same things that Kim Kardashian was born with. I'm gonna end with this. We live in a godless society right now. What I'm seeing are people who don't have faith in a higher power. Casual Goats right here. If you look at this, Casual Goat says, only 4 more months of hard work from me. And I will argue with you that, Casual Goat, you're probably going to be working hard after that. But he's talking about his completion here, and he'll have great welding opportunities. What a skill to have, especially with where we're going right now. We got to get more jobs here in America. I think this is a perfect time to have a skill. Hey, if all heck breaks loose, welders will be more valuable than many other professions. It took me until being almost 29 to figure that out. And he's found his path, and he's going down his path. So, Casual Goats, why didn't you look at Kim Kardashian and say, oh, Kim Kardashian was born to a wealthy family? I don't know his situation, but if you hypothetically, my family wasn't that wealthy, so woe is me. How dare Kim say work hard? That doesn't change the message. And people right now are not comfortable with where they are. And I think we've got a lot of these other things in the classroom when we really need to be talking about critical thinking and helping children through the most difficult. It's ultimately up to the parents, but helping children through finding their path. I had a time where after school, I went and I was a actuarial analyst, just basically doing math, numbers. You might see them right now doing the mortality tables, crazy looking tables after the injections were forced upon people. Just calculating the probability of people living or dying so companies could decide how much they're going to have to spend. And it wasn't my path. Money was much better than anything I made now, but it wasn't my path. I couldn't do it. So I fell out. You could maybe say depression. I lived in my car for a little bit, homeless. And, I was thinking about it in one of these times in my car. It was a fall time and it was cold. And you can't, I was in a hospital parking lot. You can't leave your car running forever. And I'm like, man, what happened here? I wasn't laughing. I can laugh now. But I'm like thinking to myself, like, man, what happened here? And I'm like, and I had to think about it. It's like, what really got me out of it was this. I was like, is this God's plan for me? Is this the path? It wasn't about money or anything like that. It was like, am I fulfilling what my life is supposed to be? And I had to think about it. It's like, nah, that's not. I don't feel that. I don't feel like this where I'm at now is in my heart. And after that, I was able to go to Craigslist. I got a room with, I think we had 4 or 5 dudes in it. And so I had a little bit of money. Then I went and I was a bell attendant. And what drove me through, I knew bell attendant wasn't what I wanted to do either. And I was like, man, let me just go step by step by step, and I'll find my path. I'm trying to think, like, at any moment would I think, oh, Donald Trump got $1 million from his father. Woe is me. What can I do? What? No, I can't work hard because Donald Trump got $1 million from his father. And that $1 million from your parent doesn't guarantee you anything. You could go blow that at a casino. I really think that when you don't have belief in something greater, you can be easily manipulated. And we're going down this path where these are the same identitarians that celebrated International Women's Day. One of the most powerful influencers in the world is a woman, has clearly shown her business acumen. I think the elephant in the room is the Ray J tape. That's the thing that's going to discredit her. Are y'all crazy? Now, I know I've talked about Kamala Harris and the Willie Brown situation. The reason why I bring that up is to say I actually bring that up as a credit to her and her navigating the politics of rising to the top, but she doesn't have any substance. But for Kim Kardashian, the Ray J tape, she got paid $5 million for it, signed off on it, came out right before her show popped off. So it really helped the show. Chris was behind it too. Like, how many people just hook up with a random person at a bar and maybe you got a drink? like, she flipped it. And just because she did that you're not looking at the fundamentals. That path that she took, that ain't the path for me. But the fundamentals are, they made the best of what they had, and they were very strategic, business smarts. There's a lot of people that slept with a lot of people, and they didn't get a damn thing but a smash burger and fries. In-N-Out, they got In-N-Out for it. They got maybe a movie and a drink. Okay, she got it and flipped it into promotion for her show and $5 million. And that's not my morals, but I'm not going to knock her for it. And it's not like this is the thing that she keeps on doing. She's flipping her business on and on. The Ray J tape does not guarantee that she's where she is now. So that was really that really got me triggered to see people. And it kind of hurts me to see people. I don't know if it's jealousy or I think it's just us instilling this, and most of it is young people. I don't see people my age. I'm 44. I don't see a lot of people my age getting trapped up in that. How are we raising these kids? I'd be damned if I raise my son to look at Kim Kardashian. I mean, he's going to have to do his own critical thinking, but I hope that he doesn't look at Elon Musk or somebody, Elon Musk, who Tesla was about to go under. He only had enough money for, I don't know, I think it was like a couple more paychecks to pay people out, payroll. He begged Tim Cook. Well, he didn't, I don't want to say begged, but he asked Tim Cook, hey, you want to buy us? I know we can do it. We just need some money. And Tim Cook being let me not get on a tangent with Tim Cook, but CEO of Apple. But that's how dire straits. Elon Musk literally slept in the factory. I just did the video with him and Grimes in a $40,000 house. Grimes eating peanut butter every night, hole in their mattress. He's worth $300 billion. He's still on his grind. It's because he has that vision. Kim Kardashian had that vision too. I had a clip here. I'm just ranting now. But I had a clip. Let me find that real quick. She had a vision that she wanted to be a star from when she was young.
I'm Kim Kardashian. I'm the dopest on the ropest person in this class. You would know what it's.
She was a straight up cornball. She was a straight up cornball all the way pretty much until Kanye came around. She was with Chris Humphries. He was a cornball too.
Takes to run a business, but you don't.
From an adorable child to a savvy business person, there are many reasons Kim became famous for being famous.
See me when I'm famous and older. Remember me. Okay, we're gonna do of this beautiful little girl.
There's Kim Kardashian at her 8th grade graduation, already knowing exactly what she wanted in life: fame.
Maybe if you had a business that you were passionate about, then you would know what it takes to run a business, but you don't.
On Chris's side, there's Dutch, English, Irish, and Scottish ancestry, while Robert is 3rd generation Armenian American. Kim and her family have always said that they are really religious and have been reported to partake in morning group chats where they discuss a verse from the Bible.
You know, have little Bible calendars on, by our sinks, all of us, when we wash our face every morning.
So I thought the part about their religious beliefs was important too. So let me know what you think. That's what I had on that. I'll do some comments and say good night. Edison used to sleep at work and even had his own time card at his own business. How many stories like that do you hear of people who were on their grind? Of course, luck plays a role. But I heard even Tim Pool gets heated about this topic. He was on with Kim Iverson. And I don't know how the topic came up, but they were talking about, I don't know if it was privilege or something, but Tim Pool, to be where he is, he tells people I slept on couches. I didn't even have a place to sleep. Are you ready to do that? I didn't just wake up one day and, have a channel where I could bring on Marjorie Taylor Greene and Steve Bannon and etc. Like, this was a grind. What do you think this was? So we need to, I was going to say senior people. I'm not a senior yet. We need our elders to, that's not any better. We need the semi-old people like myself to stand up. Grimes Metal, how successful people live versus how lazy people think successful people live is so vastly different. Yep. I agree. I think they look at people like Paris Hilton and people like, there's always going to be people who lived in that. And that doesn't, after we die and we're pushing daisies or roses like Skeet in the Yay Easy video, when that happens, I don't know for a fact, but I don't believe that money is going to play a role. In the grand scheme of the universe, our time on earth is like nothing. I'm not worried about this material stuff. I mean, to a certain extent, but Paris Hilton being rich that has literally no effect on my life. I don't care at all. Yep. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for everybody hanging out. More people than I thought on the late night. What y'all doing? I know Grimes, Grim Meadows was working. Also, all set, full what's up. I saw on Kardashian show Lost in the Boonies and making fun of the locals. I was PO'd and never watched again. Yeah, they're not perfect. Not, you could even say maybe they're not good people at times. But, I mean, I think the message of hard work is not what people want to hear. And this is how people turn to government as God. So I showed you that tweet where the person said, well, we're trying to work hard. Well, if you're working hard, then fine. Working hard also means working smart too. Like Casual Goat said, well, maybe if you've got the skills to be a good plumber and it takes a few months to get your, I don't know how it works, accreditation or whatever, maybe that's a smarter route. Like working hard doesn't always mean like lifting couches. Like it means, focusing. It means a lot. Like you've got to have goals. What is your goal? What do you want to do? Red Dawn was about the Russia invasion. Talking about movies. So, well, thanks for hanging out. That's all I had. I feel better. We're able to get those thoughts on the Kim out of my chest. I got nothing but love for, I went back and forth with a couple people on Twitter. It wasn't any beef type thing. It was just more like, man, like if a message of hard work is triggering, we're not in a good place. We got to get to a better place. That's for sure. But I think the message too that I didn't really talk about a lot was the who do you hang around? That's what she was really talking about. Like when I play this again, she talked about who you
Fucking
hang
ass
around.
up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do.
You want to surround yourself with people who want to work. And you went and people went after her for that comment? Man, I don't know. I don't get it. Lee Nelson says, refreshing to hear conversations like these in today's world. Seems like these values have been lost in the sauce. We got to have them. Thank you, Lee Nelson. We got to have them. We got to pass them down to our children, our nieces, our nephews. They're going to make their own decisions, live their own life, but at least we try to guide them.